Getting close to the halfway point.
Getting close to the halfway point. Hope everyone's staying limber out there.
Staying hydrated.
You know, you got to do it, man. We're going into 70 to 61.
Snick and Mud's top 100 games. But does anyone care what they have to say? Let's. I know I don't. 'Cause they may dab, they might scream, they may say some things that are plain wrong. Dab on it, dab on it. But they are dumb bing bongs. My teacher's better.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick.
I'm Mike.
We are the Brothers Murph. That's right. We're talking about our top 100 games of all time, the best games ever made, objectively, subjectively, according to us.
Yep.
And today we're talking about 70 to 61.
Right, so these are our very favorite
We're getting in the meat of it. Yeah.
Is the criteria for this list. We are getting in the meat of it now, and we're into the meat of our crowdfunding
We sure
campaign.
are. Yes.
We are running a Kickstarter campaign
At
to
least a
support the
weekend.
channel.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. And
I hear it's going great.
It's going so fantastic. There's some huge number down here of what we've hit, probably, hopefully, maybe. And it's to support the channel. So if you like what we do and have a couple extra bucks, this is a great time of year to give and kind of help us. Right now with this channel, we are trying to upgrade our equipment.
Yep.
We are filming this in an old studio, but we are actively working on our new studio.
Yeah.
So
At the time
a
this
lot of
coming
the
out,
proceeds are going to be going to that so that we can keep cranking out even higher level content for y'all. So if you want to support, please go check that out. We have a couple of games that you can buy and everything so you don't go away empty-handed. And I think with that, let's just hop into our list.
My number 70 is going to be a great game that I got to teach some people at Dice Star West recently, and that is Coal Baron.
Ooh,
Coal is the
Coal
future.
Baron.
I've been saying it.
Yeah, coal is where we're headed.
It's about the Industrial Revolution in coal time, and you are a coal baron. You are basically extracting coal and trying to fulfill these various contracts. This is a worker placement game where you have a big pool of workers, but it's nice because nothing's ever blocked in this game. If someone put a worker out there, you can kick them out, but then you have to put down 2 workers. Then someone can kick you out, but they have to put down 3 workers.
Yeah.
And you can even kick yourself out of the same spot if you want to. And I always like that because it kind of makes your worker that kind of economy. Like, oh, do I really want to dedicate this many workers to get this thing? I don't know if that's worth it. I always really enjoy that. But basically what you're doing is you're getting different mine carts that have different colors of coal. There's yellow, brown, gray, and black. Yellow being the cheapest, black being the most expensive and like the best coal. And they're going on your in your mine. And then you can also go to different spots to spend action points to move your little mine shaft
Your
thingy
little elevator.
up and down your mine, and you can collect coal. Hi, Mary Berry. You can collect coal that's in the different areas, and then you bring that coal back up to the surface and use that coal to fulfill these contracts. And it's just really, really fun. It's a great gimmick with the thing moving up and down, but it's also like a strategic part of the game because you only have a certain amount of action points, and moving your shaft is one action point, moving a piece of coal onto it is an action point, moving it back up is an action point, and then moving that coal off of it is another action point.
Yeah.
So even moving one coal, if you have to move the whole time, is 4 points. And a lot of these spots will give you like 10 points. So you can do a lot of stuff, but you're trying to work that out. And then there's like some set collection with the contract cards. It's just really, really fun. It's just a Kramer and Kiesling game. It's just very, very good. And there was like a deluxe version that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, recently, right?
Like they Kickstarted like last year. I had no idea. So like I might try and find like a secondhand copy of that out there. But our old version's still really good too. But it's outstanding. Coal Baron rocks.
Good call, man. Good call. I haven't played it in a while, and I'd love to play that again now that you've refreshed it. My number 70 is another little card game. Again, I said in my last list, I'm kind of in a section where there's a decent amount of these kind of games in and around here. Number 70 for me is Sea Salt and Paper. Good little card game.
Great
Definition
game.
of a small card game.
Yeah.
Simple what you're doing, or set collection ultimately, with a couple little twists. So one thing is the art's amazing. It's this origami art with depicting various sea life like sharks and seashells and octopuses and stuff like that. And you are collecting, for some of them, sets of like the more shells you have, the better. And there's other ones that are these called duo cards, where it's like if you get 2 crabs, the 2 crabs can get played down onto the table. They're worth 1 point, and they give you a little action that you can do. So you are trying to do that to do special actions. You can maybe take a second turn in a row, get an extra card, take something from the discard pile, steal a card from an opponent. And the extra kind of like little stitch that this has is that once you have 7 points between the cards in your hand and the cards down on the table in front of you, you can choose to end the round on your turn.
Yeah.
And you can choose to end it one of two ways. You can say, hey, the round is over immediately. We're all just going to score the base points of our cards. Or if you have a feeling that your hand is more valuable than anybody else's, you can call last chance, where everyone else gets one turn and to try to hopefully improve their situation. And then you reveal, and if you win the bet, meaning you do in fact have the highest score, you get to score your color bonus, which is going to be whatever symbols and stuff, whatever the main color is of those cards. You have a color and a symbol. You get to score points for those. But if you lose, you only get to score points for those. You don't get any of your main points. Yeah. So I love that idea of like, I think I can do this. I have 10 points. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And you're just getting into a race to 35 points or whatever it is you decide on to play to.
It's super good.
It's got great art. It's just simple set collection stuff. And I just love that whole like, maybe I can take a gamble here and go for the big score or bust out. So that is number 70, Sea Salt and Paper. Number 69 is a two-player game that we have coming in.
It usually is a two-player game.
Huh?
The number, don't worry about
it. Okay. Jeez, this is a family show. This is Dracula and Van Helsing. This is a card-based game where you are trying to play cards on either side of this village, and one player is Van Helsing, one player is Dracula.
Yep.
Dracula wants to turn villagers that are on that central board into vampires.
Makes sense.
And Van Helsing wants to kill Dracula. So basically, every time that you succeed in stopping Dracula from turning a villager, you get to take a health point off of them. You want to knock them out. And you're doing this by playing out cards into these different districts, which are the different parts of town. And you ultimately want to have the highest, most valuable card on your side of the board in order to have controlled that part of the town. And again, if you're Dracula, you get to flip over one of the 4 villagers there, and you win if you get one section completely turned into vampires. And what's cool is you have a choice on a turn to draw a card and then discard it, and you make use of the action of the card you discarded, or you can play that card and make use of, I think, another card in your hand, or discard it and play a card from your hand, make use of its action.
This, so I don't know.
Sorry, discard a card and play a card from your hand and make use of its action, or play that card and make use of its action. They all have different things they do, which will allow you to swap cards, between 2 spots on your district. There's one color that's sort of like the dominant color, the trump color. Right. You can change out what that color is. You can reveal. If you're putting cards face down, you can reveal one of the cards of your opponent, so you know what's there and try to do a bunch of like mitigation and stuff. And then at the end of the round, you can again choose when the round ends. You kind of go district to district and see who wins and who flips stuff over. So I just like the idea of, I'm going to play this card or discard it. What powers are on the cards? The lower numbers are typically not as good at powers and stuff. The higher numbers are better.
I really want to play it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I know you obviously you really enjoy it. Yeah,
so we have it coming. We did 25th Century did a Kickstarter for like a bunch of games are importing, so we have that coming along with that
Super
at some
excited
point
to play
this year. So
super excited to play.
Yeah, it's really great. It's on BGA. Works great on there. So
all right, my number 69 is Tuantin Suyu, the Incan Empire. Love some Tuantin Suyu. Dropped a little bit. Actually, I dropped a decent amount. Now that I think about it.
It's sinking in. I'm shocked it's this low.
Yeah,
I really am. That's interesting.
We haven't played it much. It's kind of the case for a lot of these. It's like, if you don't play it, it kind of sticks out of your mind. It's really, really good. It's still probably my favorite of the kind of big board and dice tea games.
So you're saying there's no other tea games?
I think there's no other tea. I have to double check, but I think this is the highest one.
You crazy, man.
And so, I really like Tuantin Suyu. Tuantin Suyu is a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot. It's a humongous game, and it's very overwhelming because basically on your turn, you are going to place out one of these meeples of a different color, and depending on where you place it and what is around that meeple, you're essentially going to get a certain amount of action points, and you get to activate the 3 different kinds of actions that are around the spot where you place it. And there's every single meeple works in a different way, and they all get those extra actions differently, and it can just be, when you're looking at the board, you're kind of like, what? This is a lot. And it is a lot. But when you start playing it, it starts to make more sense. But it's a big David Tortosi game, and it's very much a very large, big David Tortosi game. There's so much going on. But I really, really enjoy what you're doing. And we also got the expansion. I can say recently, it was probably a year ago now. And that added some more really cool stuff. I really like Tuantin Suyu. We don't play it super, super often. I took it home somewhat recently with like, I'll learn the solo mode. Hilarious. Why would I ever do that?
Why would you do that?
Board and die solo modes are bonkers. They're so big. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So no way. If I could play this game solo like simply, then maybe I would play it. But like,
fair enough.
I really like Twatansuyu. It's outstanding.
I'll play it right now.
Yeah, it dropped a bit, but I still really enjoy it.
Fair enough, man. So that's your
69?
69,
Yep.
10 to 68.
Number 68 is another one that I'm actually really surprised is as low as it is. This is Obsession.
True crossover.
No.
Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I had a feeling about this one.
Really?
I didn't even call it because I was too excited. Sorry for your ear holes out there. Our dog is now attacking our other dog. She's excited. 68 for me is Obsession.
Wow.
True crossover.
I thought it'd be higher for both of us.
I see.
Obsession.
Amazing.
Is a game about fancy people. Oh, hi, Mary.
okay.
Now we get excited, they get excited. Or rather, Pippin.
Subscribe to get Mary to attack
Yeah,
Pippin
real
harder.
talk.
Listen for it. That's the sound of you not subscribing.
Yeah,
All right, go
that's
ahead.
right. Hate that.
Take it away.
Obsession is a great game where you are kind of British royalty, and you kind of fought on hard times, and by
Yeah.
that I mean you're still incredibly
You're a family
rich.
of means.
Yes.
Well, or
and you're
once upon a
basically
time
trying
you were.
to refine your place in high society is what you're trying to do. And you're doing that by throwing lavish parties, by doing cool things, having various gentry come in. You're trying to gain your reputation, get points, and then also attract the Fairchilds, who of course are like the pinnacle of high society.
Right.
And it's really, really, it just feels very unique. You're getting these tiles, and those tiles are going to be different things like bowling on the green, different things you're doing that's like fancy stuff. And then on your turn, you can essentially activate one of those tiles, which are going to allow you to do stuff. And then you're going to have to bring gentry, which can be these cards, with you. And those people are going to give you stuff. They can give you money, they can give you reputation, give you other cards,
Bring
whole bunch
their
of other
friends
stuff.
along, yeah.
Exactly. But then you also have your house staff, like your housemaids, your butler, things like that. And some of these people require, like, I require a valet to come with me to carry my bag.
So many people require valet.
And it's so many people. And so you also have to have those staff ready to go if you want to use those people.
Yep.
It's like this really big puzzle that feels really unlike any other game, and it's just really, really good.
Yeah, I really enjoy the requirements of like doing these activities require a certain amount of guests and a certain amount of staff and stuff, and you have to have all those things in place in order to be able to take that action. I think it's a really neat thing. It's just a fun theme. It's fun to be silly and announce what you're doing, and you're supposed to announce the guests that come over.
Yeah,
And
this
Barb Esquire, and it's just a
just
fun
good.
game. There's an expansion coming.
a second expansion.
A second expansion with, I think, maybe like asymmetric player powers or something.
I hope so, 'cause that'd
which
be
I'm
really cool.
excited for. It's just it got a
good.
cool kind of different thing to it. And so
Yeah.
I've really, really been enjoying it. It's my 68 as well.
Let's go. I'm
That
hyped.
is-
I thought we were not going to have a true crossover the whole time. I'm
fired up
That's
off that,
great.
man.
All right, that's 68. Let's get to 67.
I feel like now we're going to do it again. There's no way.
There's no, I don't think. But
There's no way.
Go ahead.
This
You're first.
is
Start
a
going.
party game?
No.
Okay. So my number 67 is a fantastically fun party game. Good for a huge group. It's called Green Team Wins. Bigger the group, the better.
Yeah,
honestly.
real talk, though.
Nick ran a huge game of this at Dice Tower West recently. And
was
I'm like,
so
this
fun.
is why this game is great. This is a game where there's going to be 15 questions, essentially prompts or whatever. And you just want to be with the popular opinion.
Yeah.
You want whatever your answer to be the most popular answer. That basically means the most other people around the table also put, because then you get to be on the green team.
Yep.
The green team wins.
Green team's best.
Orange team does not score any points. The orange team
Orange
sucks.
team sucks.
Green team scores you points. If you're on the orange team and you become part of the green team, you get 1 point. If you're on the green team and you stay on the green team, you get 2 points. That's the whole point. And they are the questions or prompts are into 3 categories. There's like a this or that category, and they're all like random stuff. Would you rather always be a little too hot or a little too cold?
Yeah.
And then everyone writes down their answer. I'd rather be too cold and stuff. And then at once we all reveal. And if you're part of the popular group, more people put all cold than all hot. Anyone who put all cold as their answer gets to be on the green team or stay on the green team. So there's like this or that. There's a choice of 3 options.
Yep.
And there is a fill in the blank, which are really the most fun.
Yeah, those are the most fun.
What's really fun about this game is that the highs and lows of being on the green team and being cast out onto the orange team, and the kind of getting back to it, and how immediately smug you are when you go to the green team.
Yeah.
You're immediately like, oh, look at you fools,
peasants.
you know nothing, you know? And then you get cast out on the orange team, and you're like, I don't know why all of you are so wrong. Because here's the thing. You're supposed to choose a thing that you think everyone's going to do.
Yeah.
But everyone goes with their heart because they know that their answer is right. You know what I mean? So you're like, no, my answer is correct. And if you're not with me, it's because you're wrong. And I'll go to the orange team knowing that I am right in this situation.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's so fun.
Has no right being as fun as it is. Yeah.
And because you are going for a like popular response, you want a large group, plays up to 12 people.
It does.
And honestly, get 2 sets and put to 20. It does not matter.
People literally were writing when I was playing with the Joey fam.
Writing on
we had
paper.
more than 12 people were writing on paper. It made no
which
difference.
is great.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. It is literally better with more people. The more people you have, it's so fun.
It's so good.
Just one of those like just simple fun party game. It creates interesting discourse. It creates arguments about like how dare you think that this is what you know the answer should be. It's just delightful. I love it so much. That's Green Team wins 67.
My 67 is a classic card game called Cribbage. Love Cribbage.
Ooh, nice.
Love Cribbage. It's a classic card game. It's not made by like a publisher or anything like that. This is a game where you are getting a hand of 6 cards, and you are going to be discarding 2 of those cards into a crib. If you're the one who dealt the cards, you're going to discard them into your crib, and the other person will discard them into your crib. So essentially, if you're the one dealing, you're essentially going to get 2 hands. Yep. But the other hand, your crib, 2 of the cards are going to be random.
Chaotic.
You don't know what's going to be in there. So your crib generally doesn't score quite as much, although sometimes it can score crazy. But nonetheless, and you're basically trying to make the best hand. And then you're going to have the card playing part where the dealer is going to start, and then they're going to put down a 9. They're like 9, and then Mike puts down a 7 to say 16. And then basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to peg points during this part. If you ever get it to 15, you will get 2 points. If you ever put down a pair, Mike puts down a 3, I put down another 3, I'll get 2 points. Mike then puts down a third 3, he'll get 6 points. Or if you can get exactly to 31, you'll get 2 more points. There's a couple other ways to score points during that part. But then once you're done, each person's playing all their cards. You'll pick up your cards, and then the non-dealer will score their hand. And you're scoring your hand every 15 will be worth 2 points. So if you have 7 and 8, that's 15 too. But you have 7, 7, 8. 1, 7, 8 is 15. The other 7 and the 8 is 15 again. So it'd be 15, 2, 15, 4. So you're scoring 15, and then a pair of 6 because pairs give you 2 points. 3 of a kind gives you 6 points. And then you're also scoring runs. So if we had like 6, 7, 8, then 6, 7, 8 is worth 3 points. If it was 6, 7, 8, 9, it'd be worth 4 points. But then the 6 and the 9 make 15, so that's 2. The 7 and 8 make 15, that's 2. That's how you're scoring. It's really, really fun. We were taught by our grandparents. I cannot wait to teach Mike's daughter, Logan. Yeah. If she ever has kids, and then we're like the grandparents, I can't wait to teach that them. Our grandfather was a woodworker, and he loved to make cribbage boards, so we have a whole bunch of his cribbage boards. There's all these, you saw during our glory footage here, you saw this really cool, like, nature hike cribbage board. There's all these really weird, cool cribbage boards out there.
Of them.
It's just such a good game. It's a classic card game. It's been around for probably hundreds of years. I don't know, very long time.
Yeah, I think
and it's very, very good. I love it to death. It's my number 67. Number 66 is a combo-tastic Reiner Knizia game called Witchstone.
Nice, yeah.
Witchstone is really, really good. This is a Reiner Knizia game, one of his bigger games, to be completely honest.
For him, yeah.
For him, it's a pretty bigger game.
Small little...
In this game, you're all like witches and wizards and stuff like that, and you are putting out these kind of like, they're 2 hexes stuck together, hexomino is what we always call them, hexomino tiles, into your cauldron, and they're going to have 2 different actions on them, and you get to do both actions. But in your cauldron, you're putting down these tiles, so if you put it down, say the wand action, and there's any other wand actions that are like part of that group, you'll then get to do a wand action to that string. So if there's already like 2 wand actions next to each other, I put a 3rd one, I then get to do 3 wand actions. So you get these kind of big ones. So you're building out your cauldron to kind of make these like super mega turns of actions.
It's great.
But you kind of end up cutting yourself off a lot. It's a really nice little puzzle. And then you're like doing a whole bunch of different stuff to essentially get points. There's all these different ways to get points. But the cool thing is every single action in the game is going to allow you to do the other action. So you can move up the wand thing, but wherever you end up is going to be what you can do. And that wand action might then allow you to do like a strength 2 witch action. And then you can move your witches around the board. That might allow you to do the pentagram action. And that might allow you to do this. You put together these crazy combos. And what I love about Witchstone is, one, it's just general Reiner Knizia good game. It's tons of points, good production quality. It's just a great game. But every game of this, every single person is going to have one turn that is bonkers.
Yeah.
You're going to have one turn where you're like, you get done, you're like, you need a cigarette afterwards. You're like, jeez, like, I did so much in that turn. And people were like, man, you were playing for like 3 or 4 minutes straight there.
Seriously
like,
crazy, dude.
yeah, it's like, it's just super fun. So it's really satisfying because you always put together a really good turn. I just really, really enjoy it. And it's just, Reiner Knizia is one of the best we got. And Witchstone's a great one.
Man, good call. My number 66 is another kind of party game, all about trying to get in people's heads a little bit. This is called Wavelength. This is such a fun team. I know, we need to pick it up.
We really do.
I don't know why we don't own it.
I don't know either.
Dumb. It's a team game where you are going to kind of have like a clue giver.
Yeah.
And then the teammates will discuss and stuff. And you're going to be given a card that's going to have like cold and hot. They're going to have two things that are opposites.
Yes.
On them, and then you are going to be given this big dial. You are going to reveal to yourself secretly where on the dial from like 0 to 10, where the little kind of needle is. Say it's at like 7.5-ish, and again you're going cold to hot. So then I need to give a clue that's going to point people to about 7.5.
Yeah.
If we're thinking between cold and hot, so maybe I'll put like. I don't know. Maybe I'll go.
What's a 7?
I'm gonna go June like 12th,
right?
Or whatever
the
thing might be. It's like, okay, it's pretty warm. It's not summer yet, but it's like, it creates this discourse. People start discussing like, okay, well, it's hotter in the middle of August than in June, right? At least where we live, right? So it's like, okay, so it's not a 10. It's not the sun, or again. Is 10 the sun, and Earth comparatively is like a 2. It's just like, so it creates all this thing where people are trying to figure out like how do they value stuff, and how to then get it, and then they will make a guess. Like I think it's like 6. It's gonna be 6, and then you kind of reveal and you give a kind of like a score range. If you're close to the needle, you'll score some points. If you're right on the needle, you'll score more points.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
It's
brilliant.
Smart. In the way that it creates discussion at the table. It creates arguments and memories and wonderful talk and stuff.
Yeah, like one of the first times we played this, and this is what I realized the genius of the game. I think it was like quiet to loud. And someone said like Saturday at a convention.
Yeah.
And it was like, and to me, I'm like, oh, that's like a 10. Yeah. Because you're thinking in the confines of
you're trying to think like, well, where
convention,
we are now.
That's really loud for the convention. Now, it's not as loud as like an atom bomb going off.
Yeah.
But you're like, wait, are they talking about, because then it's like a 0.
Yeah.
But then like, are you talking about within the confines of the convention or the confines of like everything? And that's where the discussion comes.
That's where the discussion comes, and it really is. You're like trying to think of the clue giver. Like, okay, what are you
talking about? Yeah.
What's the range? Like, what were they thinking when they gave this range? And it creates wonderful discussions.
Yes, it does.
I think it's so genius. It's such a good team-based party game. You will absolutely come away with memories from playing this one, and that's why I keep coming back to it. It's so good. I literally don't know why we don't own it. I see it at Barnes & Noble all the time, and I just don't buy it each time. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. Anyway, so that's Wavelength at 66. 65. We alive. For me, it is Russian Railroads.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So the worker placement game.
I haven't played in a little while.
I know. Yeah, we have Ultimate Railroads, and I still have only ever played the Russian Railroads version.
It's good though.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
I want to try all the versions. Yeah. But yeah, Russian Railroads or Ultimate Railroads, which has Russian Railroads in it, of course, is a worker placement game where you are developing these different train lines, and then hopefully being able to use your locomotives to go further and further down those train lines to just score this ever increasing ramp up of points.
Yes.
Basically. This is a game that goes hard in the direction of like, in round 1, you might score 4 points.
Yeah.
In round 5, the last round, you might score like 94 points.
It's nuts.
If
the
things
ramp
go
up
your
is
well.
insane, yeah.
Yeah, because basically what you can do is you can develop these rails with these different color kind of tokens, I guess, or whatever. These wooden pieces of different colors and stuff. And it's, the whole thing is like the natural color wood has to be further along than the next color in line. But those other colors are worth more points. So if you can get things built up where you kind of get everything built out to the end, those most valuable things are just going to crush points for you. So you're trying to do that. You get these like specialists and stuff each round. You can claim them. There's one available in each round to claim, which becomes like maybe a worker placement spot for you, special pieces, and stuff like that. And the thing I kind of enjoy about it is like the worker placement spots are super simple. It's just like move one of your things down a couple spaces on your track, or trade in one of your locomotives for a more valuable locomotive, which can go further down those tracks once they're developed. Stuff like that. It's all kind of easy to understand in terms of like what the actions are. And then you just have this wonderful satisfaction of like the ramp up as you continue to kind of develop your rails and stuff like that. There's a bunch of bonuses and things you can do that give you, all this kind of stuff as you go. And it's kind of satisfying. Yeah. And then we have Ultimate Railroads, which has like German railroads and American railroads, which add like a bunch of different stuff to it.
Like someone has like stocks. They're all different.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to try those things. We haven't even gotten that far, but I've really enjoyed Russian railroads so far. So that's 65.
I'll call Mike out a little bit here. Number 65, I think, would be higher for me if Mike would just play it. And this is Caverna the Cave Farmers. I really like Caverna. Caverna is a big game with a lot of setup.
I do like it a lot. I've been playing on BGA, so I'm down. I'm keen.
It does keep us from playing it. I honestly think Caverna would be like my top 20 if I played it even remotely often. But as it stands, I play like once every 2 years. But I still really enjoy it. This is a big Uwe Rosenberg worker placement game, shocker, where you are dwarves, you're a dwarven family, and you're going to be building out your cave. Your cave, and also farming outside. And you can kind of do both those things. You can put all sorts of different like buildings and dwellings and stuff in your cave, outside, all these different things. There's so many building types in the game, which is one of the things about the game is it is kind of like a lot. It's pretty overwhelming because of the fact that it's just like there's so many options, there's so many paths that you can take in Caverna, which is one thing that's good. It's very sandboxy, it's very open. But the worker placement spots are pretty easy. You only have a couple workers, but you go here and you can get some resource, or you can build out part of your stuff, or build out a field, plant some things, harvest some things, all these different kind of stuff. Go on adventures, get stuff. But you only have a couple workers, and you can start a family and get more workers that way, which is tough because you have to feed them more. And this is one of the harder games to feed your people. You can still do it, but it's not quite. Some Uwe Rosenberg games are really hard to feed your people. Someone's kind of like, it's just something you have to do. Yeah. This one's kind of in the middle where it's a little tougher, but it's just really, really good. We also have the expansion, the Forgotten Folk, that's what it is. And that makes everyone asymmetric, and it kind of gives you like a benefit, but also a drawback, which is really, really cool. It's just really fun. I like it a lot. And yeah, I want to play more.
I will play it with you, man. I really will. I will. I promise. I'm gonna get right on it.
That's number 65. Let's get number 64.
When I'm 64.
64 is going to be much higher on Mike's list, and this is going to be Ginkopolis.
You don't know that. It's not on my list.
It's not in my top 300. Ginkopolis is a great game. It's a very elegant game. This is a game that...
So good, man.
There's so much going on in this game in terms of like... There's drafting, there's like area control, there's like resource management, there's like
engine building.
You have like some asymmetry of how you build out stuff. There's all this stuff, but it is actually like when you get down to like the rules of it, it's like a pretty simple game, which really goes down to the elegance of it.
Yep.
What you're doing is you're building out this kind of like city together, Ginkopolis, and you can kind of build it out. You can also build it up, and then basically what you're trying to do is. Get resources and get points, because you're getting this engine building part of this game is you're putting out these cards, and these cards, when you build them in the kind of world of them, they kind of become permanent, and then they're going to give you like bonuses usually when you do stuff, and then sometimes if they're higher cards, they'll give you like end game scoring. But I'd be like, every time you do this specific action, you just get a resource, 2 points, and another tile. And you just build these like weird, crazy engines. But then as you build this out, whenever you put a tile out, you build one out, you get to put one of your people on it, or more people if it's higher up. And you're basically trying to get groups of like colors together. There's red, blue, and yellow. And then whoever has the most of their pieces in that group is going to score all of their pieces and everyone else's pieces, which is like nuts. And then everyone else is just going to score their own pieces, basically. So there's like this area control where like whenever you put a new tile on top of people, they go away and you put your people on top of there. So there's like this back and forth where you're like battling for this area, but it's just like everything you do is super simple, super easy, and it's just really elegant, and it's very, very good. Michael talk about it.
So good.
In many lists from now.
Probably, yeah. 64 probably will be on many lists from now for you. My number 64 is Uwe Rosenberg's Sweetness, a 2-player game called Fields of Arle. Yeah, Fields of Arle, you got me right there. Fields of Arle is another worker placement Uwe Rosenberg game set on a farm. This one is, I guess, more biographical to Uwe's life, so they say.
Peat bombs and stuff.
Yeah, and so you are, what's really cool about this one is you're bouncing back and forth from round to round to a kind of summer season and the winter season. During the summer, there's a little bit more kind of getting, livestock out and doing some stuff, and you have to kind of prepare for winter, basically have some peat and stuff so you can keep warm in the winter. During the winter, you're going to kind of do more stuff like upgrading your actions, maybe building some buildings and stuff like that, and you're going back and forth. So there's kind of typical Uwe Rosenberg stuff you're going to see in this one where you are trying to fill up your board. You're trying to get rid of, there's these swamps and stuff. You're trying to drain the swamps and cut the peat out of there for warmth and fuel and for stuff, and also to give you more space to build. There's these dikes and stuff that you were moving up as you were kind of developing, I guess, agriculture in the area and taming the rivers and things. And you can get animals and stuff. You want to put animals in pens, build buildings, and kind of create goods and then deliver those goods to the surrounding towns. You want to be delivering goods and kind of work your way up this track, all for kind of end game points and stuff. There is, I think what's really cool is this one that I haven't really seen in other Uwe Rosenberg games is there's ability to kind of upgrade actions. So you get like more action points when you take that action.
It's really good.
And I really like that you can go, kind of invest in a couple of areas that maybe you're going to hit more so that when you go and do them, you get a lot more out of that action than you would otherwise. And that's something that I think is really, really cool. And I love bouncing back and forth between seasons. Your animals will breed during the winter and stuff, but you need to, again, prepare for the kind of cold during the summer, in addition to all the other stuff you're doing. So it just gives you kind of similar Uwe stuff, but a little bit different in that certain actions are only available in the summer or only available in the winter.
That's really good.
And how you kind of bounce back and forth with that is just really, really cool. And it's cool that it's a solo or 2-player game. With the expansion, you can make it a 3-player game, but it's just a little bit different. And it's still that kind of big box Uwe experience. So, that's Fields of Arle. It's great. Number 63 is kind of a greatest hits game from Garphill Games. This is Ezra and Nehemiah.
Oh, wow, that high, huh?
Yeah, so I really...
it didn't really make anywhere near my top 100. I do really enjoy it, but
It's really good. We're big Garphill Games fans.
That's really high.
To be clear, let's go. I really have enjoyed...
I think you liked it more than I did, Yeah, I do really enjoy it, though.
Ezra and Nehemiah is a newer game, and I say it's a greatest hits game because it includes certain things from other Garphill games kind of in it, and so it kind of feels like a greatest hits of Garphill in there. This is a game where you are in Jerusalem and you are building it kind of back up. And repairing the city. You're starting to teach the Torah again. And kind of doing these things to just kind of better to the betterment of people, the people of the area and stuff. What's really cool is that you are playing cards out into a 3-card kind of tableau, and kind of like a la Viscounts of the West Kingdom, you're hoping that you have a bunch of kind of the same symbol, or in this case, colors. There's 3 different colors. There's like black, red, and gray. Blue, red, and gray. Excuse me. Blue, red, and gray. And you want to have a bunch of, if I want to do like some of the building stuff, I want to have a bunch of gray banners amongst my cards and other various things that I get that give me kind of these bonuses, because those are going to be like action points I can then spend when I go and take the gray banner action, things that use those banners. Other things I want to have red if I want to kind of build up the temple and stuff and deliver my resources there and stuff. And so it's just got a lot of kind of like fun, juicy Euro game goodness in it, where the teaching of the Torah is just basically represented these technology tiles that you get, which will give you different, bonuses when you take actions. end game scoring and stuff. And then the more you kind of put your scholars out, your workers, which they stay out there so you don't have as many to use, they'll also be worth points based on which row they're in. So that's kind of cool. Like I can get this
stuff,
really specific build based on the technology tiles that I have. That will be different from game to game, and kind of, again, how do I use all of my abilities and how do I upgrade my board to have better opportunities from round to round. Just creates a lot of fun stuff to kind of munch on. And I'm a big fan of Viscounts of the West Kingdom.
Yes.
We both are.
Yeah, both.
And so like there's a decent amount of Viscounts in this one, which was like, to me, I'm like, great. I love all the things in Viscounts. They work really well here too. Fantastic.
Yeah,
so,
it really is a good game.
Yeah, it really is awesome in a cool like historical setting as well. So that is Ezra and Nehemiah 63.
All right, my number 63 is a newer game to us, and this is Wind the Film, or Look at That Photograph, if you're here in America. Yep. They did it for Nickelback. So
try to get the IP.
Wind the Film, shout out to Dwayne and Alicia from Black Board Game, who introduced me to this game, and then I got to introduce Mike to this game. This is a really tough card game where you are essentially taking a series of pictures.
You're going through the town, taking pictures.
Yeah, exactly. And you're drafting these cards out from this central area, which some of the cards will be face up, and then some of the cards will be face down. And basically, when you're playing these cards out in front of you, you need to be playing them either in ascending or descending order in one color. So there's like brown and blue and yellow. So all your yellows have to go in the yellow one because they're all going to be related pictures. And you have to go ascending or descending. And once you start going like, you start at 6, and the next one you play is like 7 or 8, because again, you have a little bit of a range you can play. You then have to go up. You then can't go like, I'm going to go now do 5, 4, 3. No, once you pick a direction, you are going in that direction. So if you have 10, 12 is the highest, and you play 11, well, now you can only play the 12.
Probably wouldn't be the
and
best.
That's it.
Best
and there's
choice.
only one of each card in the game. And so you're like, well, Mike's got the gray 9, so I know I can't ever get the gray 9. You can't ever like take it from each other. So you get these cards in your hand, and they'll go to the right side of your hand. And this is one of those games where you cannot arrange your hand. You cannot reshuffle your hand. You have to have it where it is. And then basically, you get to wind the film. So you get to take one card in your hand, and you get to move it anywhere to the right, basically. And then however many cards you drafted, let's say I drafted 3 cards, you then have to play the 3 leftmost cards from your hand down into their various tableaus. So it's this like mind-melting puzzle because you're drafting cards, but you're also going to have to play that many cards. You put them in your hands, you can wind the film once, and then you have to play cards, hopefully in focus cards. Because if you ever like you have a range of like 3, so if you have 6, the next card you could play will be like 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you then have to play it face down, and that's going to be negative points because that was an out-of-focus picture.
Just rushing.
It's really, really tough, but it's so much fun. I really, really love this game. And shout out to, again, Dwayne and Alicia, who showed us the game and actually sent us a copy of the game. It was so lovely and nice.
Super sweet.
But yeah, so it's super, super fun. I love Photograph.
It'll shred your brain. It will absolutely just unmake you.
Yeah, really, though.
So difficult to conceptualize. It's so good.
Great. My number 62 is a roll and write, and this is probably still the highest roll and write I have, and this is me, Cartographers.
Okay, yeah.
Cartographers has dropped a little bit, and honestly, like, all roll and writes have dropped for me.
Sure.
I'm not as into that mechanic anymore. I used to be super, super, super into it.
Sure.
And there's just so many now that I still really enjoy them all.
Yeah.
And I'll always play a roll and write, but I would assume this is my highest. I'll have to check. But Cartographers is a great roll and write. One of the best, if not the best. This is a game where you are cartographers, so you are making a map, and you are mapping out a new world, and everyone's mapping out their own world.
A little fantasy world.
Yeah, and basically, someone's going to flip over a card. Everyone is using this card, and that card is going to have either 2 shapes and 1 type of land type, like forest or something like that, or it's going to have 2 types of land type and only 1 shape. And then you have to put that shape, it's going to be a polynomial shape like Tetris kind of style. You're going to put it somewhere in your map. And you're basically like, I found this forest right here. And so you get to choose like either the shape, but you don't get to choose the terrain, or you get to choose the terrain, but you don't get to choose the shape. And then you're putting it in there, and then there's going to be these 4 scoring cards. There's 4 rounds in the game, and they're scoring cards A, B, C, and D. In round 1, you're going to score A and B. In round 2, you're going to score B and C, then C and D, and then back to A. So every single thing is going to score a couple different times, but there will be a point, especially with like something like B, after the second round, you're never scoring B again. And so you no longer have to worry about it. So you're trying to build out your map to score these scoring cards.
Yeah, whatever's advantageous right now.
Yeah, what's advantageous right now, but also trying to plan for the future. If you know, like, the D scoring card is going to need this, maybe I'll start working on that now. So once we do start scoring this, I then will be ready for it. But you know what? B and C are gone. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Screw those ones because they're not going to score again. It's just really, really fun. This is a game that you can technically play with an infinite amount of people because everyone is just going off of the same scoring cards and everyone has to put in whatever is drawn off the top of that deck. It's just really, really, really good. This is one of those games where you introduce it to people who are newer gamers, their eyes light up, and we've sold many copies of this game because we've played games that they've then showed their friends showed their friends. I mean, it goes down the line, and this is one of those games that people just love, and I love it too.
Yeah, good call, man. That's number 62 for you. Number 62 for me is a almost completely simultaneous play kind of game where you're bumping tracks and polyomino tile placement to boot. This is Planet Unknown. This has been a really fun one we've played.
Massively dropped for me.
Yeah.
It's way out of the list. It's not even close. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
right
it was pretty surprising how much it dropped for me.
I still really enjoy it. I mean, we still have it and stuff, so it's not going anywhere, of course. But yeah, I really like this one. It is a game where you're trying to fill up a planet with polyomino tiles. It's just you kind of terraforming the planet and building up stuff on it. And each tile that you get is going to be distributed by a Lazy Susan. There's basically a Lazy Susan that's going to be flipping around. And whatever depot is in front of you, you have two choices of tiles, shapes to place out. You'll choose one of those and place it. And each tile is going to show two different kind of things on it. It might be, your little rover and your civilization or something like that. And when you place that out, you're going to bump up those two tracks that are showing. And potentially some bonus tracks as you go, because as you go up the tracks, you might get a wild track advancement you can get. And there's just a bunch of fun stuff you can do. You can move your rover around and pick up meteorites that drop onto the planet, or pick up your life pods for points.
Get your people.
You can get these civilization cards by going up the civ track, which will give you maybe endgame scoring or a one-time bonus. There's a technology track, which unlocks different things, allow you to start breaking rules and stuff. And things like that. And I just love that it's all simultaneous because everyone's going to get their little depot point to them. They can take their tile and place it, bumping tracks and stuff. And what's really fun is there's all these asymmetric corporations. Like basically your little player board can change where you have like these different tracks now will give you different abilities and stuff. So there's like a lot of fun things to explore with that. I think is really cool. There's also a bunch of different planet types you can get, which I think are a little more like crazy and frankly make the game harder a lot of times. I don't play with those, but I like playing with the asymmetric corporations.
Yes, of course.
And you can mix and match however you want. So it's just been one that's been really, really fun. I don't anticipate it'll go higher from here in the future because we just won't be playing it as often, but I really do enjoy it a lot.
So do I, and I was surprised at how much it dropped, but it's like we literally were searching for this game for a while because we kept messing the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We finally got it, and we've just never played it.
Yeah, we played other people's copies in the meantime.
But like our copy that we got like
never
over 6 months ago, we still haven't played it.
That's
and so
true.
I was just like, I still really enjoyed the game, but it just kept dropping for you, which is totally fine.
Fair enough. That's 62. Let's get into 61. Number 61 is a classic tile placement game with really interesting kind of tile selection system. This is Quadropolis. No way.
True crossover.
Are you serious? Let's go. Oh
yeah,
my
man.
gosh. Twice in a list?
Quadropolis.
That's hilarious. It's such a 61 game.
It's such a 61 game, dude. It's
twice
so
in a
good.
list, man. Let's go.
Wow.
Down here? That's amazing.
Dude, keep going. Quadropolis is
okay,
amazing.
so Quadropolis is a fantastic
it's so
city
good.
building tiling game.
It's so good.
Where you have a grid of tiles as the center board that people are going to be drafting tiles from. And you have these little tokens that represent your architects.
Yeah, like little arrows.
These little arrows that have 1 through 4 or 5 if you're playing the advanced game. Which you should do. And you are going to put it on one of the sides of the player board, and whatever the number is, you're going to count that many spaces in. So if it's a 3, I'll count from the bottom 1, 2, 3 if my arrow's at the bottom, and that's the tile that I get. And then also the value of that arrow that you place will dictate where you have to place that tile. It has to be in, if you're playing the basic side, either the 3rd row or the 3rd column or the 3rd area of your board. So you have these kind of like rules of stuff like what you take also directs you a little bit of where you can place it.
Yep.
And you're trying to build things like, your housing and stuff. You can actually build up multiple levels. You want to build up multiple levels of those to get as much population there as possible. You have your stores, which want to have a bunch of people in them. You have your power plants, which produce energy and kind of spread around to power up your buildings. You have your harbors, which you all want to have in like a row, and things like that. It's just really fun to try to build up and make use of your resources. So that basically nothing goes to waste as you go through. But that action selection is just so fun to play with.
Yeah, it's really outstanding. I got to teach this to our good friends Jeff and Jamie recently.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they both really liked it. And that was just like one of those things where I was like, man, this game is so stinking good. Like, it's just simple, it's easy, it stays in water, so the production quality is like great. It's so smooth, and it's so interesting the way, because again, like, oh, I need to put my 3, I'll get this tile, but then I have to put it in my 3rd row, my 3rd column, my 3rd area. And so it's just like it's a nice puzzle that's not too hard, but it's still really, really nice. And Quadropolis is so good. It's just so dang good.
It's so awesome. So that is our list, everybody. 61, we are approaching the end of the first half of this process. We hope you've been enjoying it. Please let us know in the comments if you've been doing your own top 100 or top 50 or wherever you hop in. Please drop your favorite games in the comments below. Did we name any of your favorites? Please let us know. That's going to be it, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. Please tell your friends, share this video around, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next Top 10.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching that latest installment of our Top 100. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the other ones on the side of your screen there if you haven't already. We want to give a big shout out to our channel sponsors, Restoration Games, Board Game Geek, and Garphill Games. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.